What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean. And today, at Reactions to the Classics, we're going to be rocking and rolling with a more recent record, 2018. It's going to be Idols and their record, Joy as an Act of Resistance. Already loving the title.
Yeah, what a
and
title.
And the name, man, I just think that's this is a group I've heard of. They just also released in 2020 an album, but I've never dove into their work yet, so I'm excited to do so. And this comes courtesy of a suggestion from our longtime patron and supporter of the channel, Craig. Thank you, Craig, for bringing this to us, and I'm looking forward to it. And before we get into the quick facts of the record, though, if you like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you want to support us on Patreon, maybe have us react to an album or song reaction or any sort of support, our patrons make this channel go. Check out the link below. And also, come check out one of our live streams, 6 o'clock Central Time every Friday night, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time every Wednesday. And Trey, you're ahead of the game compared to me on this because I've never even heard of Idols. But a little bit of info on this before we jump in. It was their second studio album released in 2018, as you mentioned, number 5 in the UK, follow-up to the acclaimed debut Brutalism the previous year. Joe Talbot is the lead vocals, Mark Bowen is on guitar, Lee Kiernan on guitar, and Adam Devonshire bass, John Beavis drums.
Cool.
They started recording the album in 2017. Joe stated the album is an attempt to be vulnerable to our audience and to encourage vulnerability, a brave, naked smile in this horrible new world. According to Talbot, lots of songs got scrapped because there was this pressure, which we were carrying but not talking about. We were trying to sustain the success of Brutalism to basically remake it. So we kind of scrapped all the songs and talked about why we weren't enjoying writing it. And that happens a lot, Trey. We talk about this with debut albums, because a lot of times with debut albums, you have all this material you've been working on for all these years, and then the debut album's really successul, and then the record company's like, hey, we're going to need another album next year.
Exactly.
And you're going, man, I'm starting out with nothing now. So I can understand that pressure.
Well, I always think of that famous Elvis Costello quote, you have a whole lifetime to write your first album.
Yes.
You got a year to write your
Yeah,
second.
no, absolutely perfect quote there.
Yeah, and the album cover is pretty striking, man.
Yeah,
it's a photograph of a fight at a wedding in 1968 that Talbot saw on Instagram, man. A power of the modern day world.
I was going to say, interesting, go, hey, man, I want that to be my album cover, but hey.
And lyrical content, Craig was saying, deals with everything from toxic masculinity, self-love, immigration, Brexit, class. Very well acclaimed.
Yes.
Placed on a lot of year-in list from everybody from BBC, Mojo Magazine, NME, Q. So very well acclaimed.
Top 10 in all of those.
Yeah. So very well thought of, and all tracks are written by the group except for track 11, which was written by Burt Russell.
All right, we're going to start off with Colossus. Joe said this song was written purposely as the opener to the album. We always try and write records as an entity in itself. We wanted the first track to be cinematic and ominous as a way of capturing the pressures of performance and grief. Wow, that's quite the table setter,
Big time, man. And I know they got a big kind of punk influence to them, which is something I enjoy quite a bit.
Something you'll enjoy.
So thank you again to Craig for bringing this,
thanks,
man.
Craig.
And as always, we're going to have the lyrics pulled up. Music will not be in the video due to copyright, but there will be a link down below if you want to check out the full video with the music included. And all that to say, man, let's get going. Colossus coming in, man, as the opener.
That was quite interesting.
Dude, I really like the way they progressed the track, because you know, it's really a tale of two songs in one.
It is, and it was 4:20 till they got into the last part where I thought they were going to go all in. They just kept...
You think that was intentional?
I don't know. I was wondering that. I was thinking the same thing. But the chorus was interesting because he really just got down to speaking it.
No.
Goes and it goes and it goes. So, yeah, it definitely kept me intrigued the whole time. With that anticipation of, like, you know, you talking about their punk influence. Like, here we go, we're going to go in. No, I guess we're never going to go in. And then it was like it was over. It was like they kept the track running in the recording studio and they were done. It's like, somebody forgot to turn this off, huh? And then all of a sudden, boom. And then, of course, verse 4 in that second part at the end, it's, you know, we're big wrestling people. I'm like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I put homophobes in coffins,
baby.
I'm like Fred Astaire, the great Fred Astaire. I dance like I don't care. Back to wrestling. I'm like Ted DiBiase. I win no matter what it costs me. a guy from my childhood. I'm like Evil Knievel. I break bones for my people. And then, of course, I'm on my best behavior.
Like Jesus Christ, our Savior.
That's right.
And then last line, I'm like Reggie Cray, who's the only person here who I didn't know who it was
either.
But apparently there was Ronnie Cray and Reginald Reggie Cray were identical twin brothers and English criminals, the foremost perpetrators of organized crime at the East End of London in the 50s or 60s.
All right.
I guess, think of like an Al Capone here and, kind of the States or whatnot. So that, dude, the tale of the two songs was really, really well done. I liked, and some serious subject matter in this first part as well. I don't know how much of this is autobiographical for Talbot here, but he says the world's best bulimic bartend, tender, violent, and queer. So already kind of bringing forth some of these topics that we were noting at the start. And then, definitely that post-punk influence was evident at the start. Reminded me of some of the 80s bands we've done, almost like Echo and the Bunnymen, Bauhaus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
With kind of that darker music. And then I like the openness here. I am my father's son. His shadow weighs a ton. Looking here, Joe's dad was was a sculptor.
Okay.
So I don't know how famous a sculptor he was or whatnot, but probably just in the arts, we gotta have that shadow over you. Lots of cool stuff in there, both musically and instrumentally. Great opener, and that's gonna take us now.
I love the title of this song,
dude.
man.
Me too. I don't know what we're in for. Never fight a man with the perm.
Interesting thing, and Trey, as a child of the '80s, back here in the States, if you're not from the States, we had a lot of guys who like to get perms in the back of their hair. I wasn't one of them, but I'd fight a man with a perm and did a few, but maybe I shouldn't have. Lyrically, the song has been described as a critique of toxic masculinity and a rallying cry for men to address the dangers of toxic masculinity and what it really means to be a man. That kind of lines up with my opener.
I was about to say, yeah.
Talbot has described the song as a critique of masculinity as well as a personal exposure to his past behavior when he was younger and involved in fights and such scenes. Well, I think the guys with the perms thought they were macho, but I did get into a fight with a few of them, so I don't know. Maybe that's not speaking well of me either.
Well, Talbot noted how the song focuses on his personal mental health. Specifically, he expressed how the song is a portal to his dark past where the toxic masculine culture he criticizes was a culture he was immersed in earlier on in his life. Now he's trying to get rid of that behavior while acknowledging it happened. So,
well, in Joe's defense, man, that is the behavior that we are raised as men. I hope that it's kind of changing now in society, but there's this masculinity. You got to be this and that. So, in Joe's defense,
ladies and gentlemen, never fight a man with a perm.
And I'm just gonna have to tell you before we even get into this, if you're watching along, you need to go read the lyrics to this, man, because there is so much great stuff.
Oh, there really is, and I kind of mentioned it in the react. Very impressed with Joe's vocabulary, man. Bringing a little bit of everything, and shout out to Genius as we're following along. There's some very there's some British phrases in here that kind of goes over my head, so that is always helpful to kind of know some stuff in here. But we really, whenever we were starting off with the name drop of Charlie Sheen, we're in for...
we got Brill Cream, which is the stuff you put in your hair. My grandpa used to put in his hair. Creatine and a bag of Charlie Sheen, Brill Cream, creatine, and a bag of cocaine. Later on he's like, he hates me, I like that. 2 arms like big baseball bats, I bark. He bites back, and then he drops Nancy Sinatra at the end. He said those boots are made for stomping. That's just what I'll do. One of these days, these boots are going to stomp all over you. Dude. And then the pre-chorus straight. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, man. And just quickly touching on the whole boots. I love it because, in that song, you think, oh, yeah, one of these days they're going to walk all over you, this or that. But we're men. We got to stomp
all over you.
We got to put
it
it down. And, pre-chorus then, it's, kind of goes back in the vocal mix. It's almost whispering. I said I've got a penchant for smokes and kicking douches in the mouth. sadly for you, my last cigarette's gone out.
Oh man.
That kind of reminds me, I just watched this over Halloween time. They Live, where Roddy Piper's like, I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Yeah, exactly. Famous line. Then we get the chorus, the concrete to leather. That's where we come in.
Really letting those like punk influences show.
Exactly.
Big time. And then, kind of the verse goes back to more like post-punk, kind of just that darker, guitar-driven stuff. So
I had to look in verse 2 because he's a heathen from Eton on a bag of Michael Keaton. So I know he wanted to rhyme Eton and Keaton, but I was like, what's he talking about? But it says he's probably referencing Clean and Sober, which is a movie I've actually seen from back in '88 where he is a cocaine addict. So that would go with the first one.
I was about to say, yeah.
I forgot to click on that, so I had to jump on there to see.
And then he continues to go on saying, you look like a walking thyroid. You're not a man, you're a gland. You're one big neck with sausage hands. So throughout the song, he's just kind of bringing up those like what you would think of just like a kind of a meathead. Just I want to be a man type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. And the very last line of that verse is he stood and the room went silent. Then the pre-chorus, which he just whispers it, never fight a man with the Perm.
that was
get the concrete to leather.
And interestingly enough, the outro we got, I'll shut my mouth, let's hug it out. So I don't know if he's being sarcastic here, if he's being truthful, wanting to, all right, let's hug it out. Something you wouldn't expect from somebody this masculine, hugging it out type of thing. But cool little track right there, man. I'm liking what we got so far. And now we're going to go to the next track number 3 up on the list, I'm Scum.
Nah, man, I mean, honestly, like, we all have our faults, man, but you're definitely not. When Idols plays this song live, it's common for Joe to explain it as being a response song to critics who, along the years, tries to demote the band. So I'm sure they were thrilled with that.
I'm Scum coming in here, man. Idols bringing the heat again with another bit of a tongue-in-cheek.
No, also a really fun. I mean, so far, 3 songs in, I'm really impressed with their lyricism.
Me too, man. That's been one of the things that has definitely stood out to me, and also how they've been arranging their tracks musically, keeping it interesting. Especially kind of in the chorus, like we went with the like really heavy and intense first, like dirty, rotten, filthy scum, but then it switches to be a little bit more catchy and melodic, yeah. For a long, long while I'm known as, and then goes back into
rotten, filthy.
Oh, that was tight, dude. That was tight, and a lot of lines in here that I thought were pretty cool too. And I like this snowflakes and avalanche type of deal.
I did too. I like the end of verse 1. I'm minimum wage job. I'm a mongrel dog. I'm just another cog. I mean, I'm scum. I'm scum.
And then there was another one in here. Spit in your percolator. I am a procrastinator. I overtip the waiter. Sarcastic computator. Dude, just even those 4 lines, just all that kind of wordplay and rhyme scheme.
Yeah, and then he drops the little James Bond. Because it's always like, who's the next Bond going to be when Daniel Craig's done? I don't care about the next James Bond. He kills for country, queen, and God. We don't need another murderous toff. I'm just wondering where the high street's gone. Because I'm scum. I'm scum.
Dude, yeah, very...
this song's really good, man.
It really is, man. This very well might be...
Drive around with the windows down and just play this, pull up somewhere.
Yeah, and so, I kind of like that idea of, just like, you know what? You think I'm scum, this or that? I'll just push all into that.
I'll show you.
And whatnot. And just, kind of some of the tongue-in-cheek lines in here as well. I enjoyed quite a bit, man. And so we're gonna go now. A lot of these tracks are just right in that sweet spot.
3 minutes, man. 3.5 minutes. Yeah, real nice.
Including this next one. We got Danny, and forgive me if
Nedelko.
Nedelko. Good. I just let you take that.
It's the track of the story. This track's the story of Ukrainian immigrant Danny Nedelko, who's a close friend of the members of the band and the lead singer of the band Heavy Lungs. The song's lyrics take aim at and are heavily critical of nationalism while making the focus of the song as a celebration of multiculturalism and diversity. The song celebrates various immigrants from Freddie Mercury to the, quote, local Polish butcher. Now, the favor was returned because in Danny's band, the subject of the song Blood Brother by Heavy Lungs is actually Joe Talbot. So,
Oh, really? So that's kind of neat
Yeah,
that they were
yeah.
able to bring that in together with each other, man.
so I don't know who was first, but yeah, let's check it out.
Danny Nedelko.
These songs just fly by, man.
They really do, man. Yeah, it seems as soon as we start, we get into another catchy chorus, man. Another chorus that knocked it out of the park. I
Yeah,
think.
he just kind of lays it down. My blood brother's an immigrant, a beautiful immigrant. That's where he drops Freddie, a Nigerian mother of three. And then the pre-chorus, he's made of bones, he's made of blood, he's made of flesh, he's made of love, he's made of you, he's made of me. Unity. We're all created the same,
Yeah.
no matter where we come from. And then the chorus is great.
No, yeah, fear leads to panic, and then that panic leads to pain, pain leads to anger, anger leads to hate.
Sounds like the last 4 years that we've gone through, huh?
Yeah, man. So that hate, it was bred initially from what? From fear.
Yep.
And then we got the yeah, and then, finish it
And
off.
he just drops Danny's name in there at the end.
I thought this was cool too in verse 2. My best friend is an alien. My best friend is a citizen. He's strong, he's earnest, he's innocent. And then he name drops, a couple people that are famous immigrants
Exactly.
and whatnot, which is cool. Because I like how he juxtaposes that with he says, a Polish butcher, And in the first verse we had my blood brother's Freddie Mercury, and he kind of contrasted that with the Nigerian mother of three.
Yeah, so it's not just the famous people.
Yeah,
it's the common person. And then the bridge is great because he just spells out the D, the A, the N, the N, the Y, Danny Nedelko community, so F off. So I thought that was great.
No, man, that was really tight, man. And then finish her off with a cool little that catchy chorus, man.
Yeah, that one was just a fun one, man.
Well, and I like what they had to say too.
Yeah,
we're
that's
taking
great.
some big topics, and the whole immigration thing is always always one that I have empathy for people, especially here in the States.
Man.
Where the United States has always been kind of like a beacon of hope for people, and recently there's been a lot more restrictions, of course, for
because
immigrants.
Trey, this is our country, right? Our people were. No, wait a minute. We came over here too. Sorry.
No, man, exactly. So I'm hoping that'll change a little bit here in the future.
I think there's a good possibility.
But now we're gonna go to Love Song number 5 in here, and Talbot had something to say about this.
Yeah, he just said we wrote this track as a techno type tune. Say that quick. And I loved it. I wanted to use the dark tone as a vehicle to carry a message of unadulterated love from my partner and embody the strength of vulnerability and compassion.
All right, cool beans, man. Well, 3 minutes. So let's dive into this one. Love Song coming in as track number 5, and I should have expected it by Idols by now that a song called Love Song was going to be kind of the darkest musically we've had.
For sure, and I'm glad you clicked on it on Genius, because it starts out, I wrote a love song because you're so lovable. I carried a watermelon, I want to be vulnerable. I'm like, what is he talking about? But it's a shout out to Dirty Dancing, because he said when he talked about this song that he loves Dirty Dancing. I'm like, what's he talking about? Because I've never seen that show, Trey, even though it was way popular when I was in high school. Never had any desire to, but that's what that means. So that helped me out, because I'm like, what?
Well, me too. Yeah, I haven't got the chance to check that out either. And
Neither have I in 35 years. I've never got a chance to check it out.
I like what he's saying, kind of about the 2020. I know this came out a couple years ago, but it still works in the modern context of what love is in relationships. He notes, I will not go to bars or jump in strangers' cars or mind sweep for wines and lines and lines and lines and lines and lines. And then it's not about the sex and the sex. I want it to be your best ever friend, forever best friend.
Nice little wordplay.
I like that, and I like because so many in the whole hookup culture of today, man. For a lot of people, it is just about the sex, this or that. He's noting, man, I want to be your best ever friend. Forever best friend, and then just kind of the very punky this modern. Wow.
And then verse 2 is great because he's just like, I effing love you, I really love you. Look at the card I bought, it says I love you, so why wouldn't I?
And then kind of going into the dynamics of relationship, you try to make me change. I hope and pray and pray and pray you'll stay the same. I wish you'll always stay. So I push, push you away, man. So that's a lot of people, man. A lot of guys, I think especially, they're afraid to open up and be vulnerable.
So it's easier just to push them away, and
Yep.
then you're never going to get hurt, man.
No, and I think that's what Joe's kind of bringing forth there, man. So cool little track there. Again, another unique topic they're bringing forth.
Now we're going to get into some super heavy, man, because I did the research. And this one's heavy.
June.
This song concerns Joe's daughter, Agatha, who was stillborn in June of 2017. It was obviously a distressing time for both Joe and his partner, and he never actually planned to release the song due to it coming from such a personal place. Unlike the rest of Idol songs, Talbot wrote the lyrics before the music. And Joe just said, I didn't really intend on it ever coming out. It's quite telling of what I'm writing about, which is carrying the shame of grief and feeling like you're a burden because you're feeling so dysfunctional and angry at the universe for something that you have no control over. People often have a strange embarrassment for just feeling pain, and that's really true. They bury it and put on some sort of
mask
facade.
And to try to man, this will be a heavy one.
This will be a heavy one, man.
As we reach the
halfway point.
Let's dive into it.
Wow.
June. Ooh, what a heavy song as I expected, man. And then the freaking chorus came in with just the heartbreaking line, "Baby shoes for sale, never worn." Ooh.
He just says that over and over. I mean, he starts out, "Dreams can be so cruel sometimes. I swear I kissed your crying eyes." So repeats it again, and then verse 2, "A stillborn, but stillborn. I'm a father, a stillborn, but stillborn. I'm a father." And then uses the wordplay of amend. And then has that chorus, and then comes in at the end kind of with the amend, or pretend, amend, amen. And I saw where his partner had another baby in 2019, and the same thing happened. He said, Agatha's heart rate dropped 3 times. They transported to the hospital, but she died en route. And the same thing happened this time. Frida's heart rate went. It was the most terrifying effing moment of my life. How can this be happening again? We were already in hospital, and they got her out. It was magic, so thank goodness. But I'm wondering if he ever sings this in concert. I mean,
man, this would be a tough one.
I don't think I could, but maybe it's cathartic for him. I don't know.
That's true.
Much props for him sharing that with the world and overcoming. I think it pops into the previous, a previous tune on here. We're talking about the toxic masculinity. You never fight a man with a perm. He's fighting against that here by just showing his pain.
No, man. Shout out to Joe, for just bearing his heart out. And I notice a lot of times in life, people are kind of scared to do that for fear of a response. But in my experience, when people do show their heart, people are very receptive.
They are. They very much are.
That's that was very powerful, or this or that, and that's, I think, the case that we got here, man. Very strong song, and again, kind of enjoyed instrumentally. I thought it was kind of perfect. Started out with, I don't know if it was an organ, but it was something that kind of just made you want to really tune in, and then
and there were some breaks there between verse 2 and the chorus where they built the instrumentation up, but not over the top.
You're right.
Just built it where you could kind of feel the emotion build, which with the lines delivering "baby shoes for sale, never worn."
No, man, that was a big one, and now we'll move on to the next one. We got Samaritans, and at gigs, Joe introduces the song the following way. This is a song about the disease in the brain called masculinity.
Boy,
so again,
he's on this, isn't he?
Pointing to that. So as we enter the second half of the album, let's get going here.
Let's do it.
All right, Samaritans coming in as we enter the second half of this record, and the whole masculinity topic has been touched on before, but this is definitely the most overt way that Joe's attacking the issue. And I definitely enjoyed kind of the verses with how almost again kind of almost like sing-songy they were. Man up, sit down, chin up.
Pipe down, yeah.
Talking about the serious stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Basically just the masculinity thing. The pre-chorus, the mask of masculinity is a mask that's wearing me. The mask. Like you said, it's just it's a theme on this album. It's all the stuff that we're told. The chorus, I'm a real boy, and I cry. I love myself, and I want to try. This is why you never see your father cry. In eras bygone, men did not cry. You were not to cry, and That's caused a bunch of issues, man.
No, man, and as somebody in the counseling field,
Yeah.
man, I really did enjoy the message of this track, and just saying, hey, it's okay to kind of let down that manly persona, and let yourself feel emotions and whatnot. So I definitely appreciated the message Joe was bringing in here, and then at the outro. Or I want to say bass line and guitar work again, very solid again, kind of going with that dark atmosphere
Yeah.
I think that the song needed. And then at the end we have the I Kissed a Boy and I Liked It. So totally, the total opposite of what the masculinity thing would be. He just flips that on his head. And as you said, Dad, a little shout out to the Katy Perry lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. I like this one, but it's not going to be one of my favorites, which I'm actually relieved because we're 7
Yeah.
through and 5 of them are on my list in contention. So I'm like, okay. I'm
Man.
actually happy when one's not, absolutely a banger.
Well, we're gonna keep it moving with the track "Television." Talbot said, "I wrote this as a song to my daughter. I wanted to write about the new sense of self-belief I found in celebrating my flaws, but also to motivate my future children in a subversive text."
He went on to say women are attacked constantly with tropes of femininity. So he's going to go the other way.
Okay,
It's
cool.
savage. That's the point. I read recently that someone was criticizing me for what I was saying in television. Was said so many times before by people like Beyonce. My point was, yes, it has been said before by Beyonce, a model millionaire who looks amazing wearing a bin bag. I was born with club feet, was overweight, alcoholic, balding, awful teeth, and eczema. I think it's a lot more authentic and relevant for someone like me to say it because I've been told by proxy of awful advertising articles and all these horrific magazines and newspapers that I'm ugly and not worthwhile throughout my life at different points. So this is something I fight, with your 14-year-old sister. I just don't want her to ever think. I mean, she's not this way, but I don't ever want society to make her think she's got to look at a certain way, dress a certain way, and we do this with women way worse than we do it with men. So I'm glad he's attacking this one as well.
Definitely. Right. Television coming in, man. I again showcasing off like a very catchy chorus.
I was going to say, yeah, even with the F-bomb, I go outside and I feel free because I smash mirrors and FTV.
Love that, man.
He's basically just telling his daughter that he doesn't want her to feel, if someone talked to you the way you do to you, which obviously she's young, as we learned, she's just born last year, that she's not yet, but he wants her to know, later on, I put their teeth through, love yourself. And that's what they do. The bastards made you not want to look like you, so you pay through the nose to look like someone else. All the weirdos on the shelf, love yourself, love yourself. So, in other words, we tell these girls and women, you're supposed to look like this ideal on TV, magazine, everything's airbrushed, everything's tricked up. And so the only way you're going to look like that and not be self-loathing is to go get plastic surgery. And then you start down that road and one leads to another. So he's telling her, screw that, just be happy with who you are and who cares what everybody else tells you.
Well, I'm really enjoying the record for it's tackling some topics that don't normally get tackled in music. It's definitely made, I think, for this modern age. So I'm enjoying again Joe's lyricism for that, and had a lot of repetition of kind of just the verse and the chorus here. You didn't need I think the verse was perfect for what it was trying to convey, and I love the whole love yourself. He says it so gruff,
he
but
does.
You
He's
kind of
yelling at you.
Yeah, it's
man.
all like
snap out of this.
I better do it, man, or Joe's gonna yell at me. But man, really another very strong track, man. And now we're gonna go to a song that I hope lives up to his name. We got Great. Obviously, as the lyrics go on, talking about Great Britain. Blighty, I learned today, is a slang term for Great Britain. So.
There you go. And I've read there on the side, it's kind of they weren't happy with the Brexit results. It's kind of just a shout out to that.
No, man, I enjoyed that because a lot of political songs, are coming from American perspective that we've heard recently. But I kind of like this. I'm not fully up to date on UK politics,
right.
But I know a lot of people aren't happy with Boris Johnson and how that whole Brexit thing worked out, man. And I enjoyed hearing from somebody in the country, man, about what's what, man. Mentioning kind of people's fear of immigrants in here as well. Islam didn't eat your hamster. Change isn't a crime. So won't you take my hand, sir, and sing with me in time? GREAT. I'm liking the spelling out that we're having on a lot of this record, man. Again, very kind of sing-songy with which works well with the dichotomy of the intense subject matter,
For sure.
so to speak, man. So yeah, again, just a really strong tune. Again, really enjoying the guitar work on this. Again, kind of had that post-punky
Very much so on this one.
atmosphere, and man, I like the ending line because we're all in this together, man. So gotta keep that unity going, and we only got 3 tracks left. We're gonna go now to Graham Rock.
Yeah, and Joe said we wrote this as a concept song. We said yes to every idea proposed musically, and then applied that to the subject of 2 coked up bankers at a funeral.
Oh,
so
we're in for a treat.
Let's go.
Here,
I think
man.
everything in the kitchen sink, and let's do it.
I don't know who Tom Hiddleston
I don't either,
is,
man. I was wondering the same thing. I don't have any idea either.
I need to look this man up, man. That's funny. This one struck to me just as the first kind of not fun, but just kind of more, just not as heavy a tune here, man. This kind of worked well as just a punk rock, with the genre. The subject matter lends well to it.
Yeah, Hiddleston is an English actor, recipient of...
He's Loki. I'm pretty sure.
Golden Globe, 2 Primetime Emmys, nominated in a Tony. Yeah, you're right.
There we go. Yeah, so Tom.
I don't know what the deal is with that, but hey, man, Idol's giving him a shout out in a certain way.
And again, that chorus, again, just quite catchy. I scored a win. Bada bada bing. I'm the key. Just I've never done coke, but what I would imagine if you're on coke, man, you're feeling you're at the top of the world, and it's just kind of humorous and just a dark way that, man, they're at this funeral.
Yeah, well, first starts, I'm sorry your granddad's dead. Oh, lovely spread. Then they do the chorus. I'm sorry your mother's dead. Ah, lovely spread. So
no,
sorry
man.
She's dead, but man, the food's pretty good.
Well, and then we had the shout out to Gryffindor, Harry Potter. Again, just a wild little manic song, as I would expect from something that deals with 2 guys coked up, man. And now we're gonna go to the only song Idols didn't write on here. We got "Cry to Me," which is a cover that Solomon Burke did way back in the '60s.
Yeah, written by Burt Burns, but he's listed as Burt Russell, and as you said, first recorded by the American soul song singer Solomon Burke in 1961. Several other artists recorded the song, including the Rolling Stones. So
cool, man. Yeah. Well, let's see what they do with this one. I don't know the original, so I can't compare. But
it's only 2:24 as well.
I like my covers to be different than the original, and though I haven't heard the original, I would assume this is quite different.
Yeah, just with Joe's gruff voice, but I do think you could tell instrumentally that it was definitely from another time. So it's kind of interesting to hear them.
Yeah, and I think thematically and lyrically, it works with just with the kind of concept of the record, and just kind of that coming into your own and being in touch with your feelings, this or that. When you're all alone in your lonely room and there's nothing but the smell of perfume, don't you feel like crying? Come on, cry to me. And just with the shows, like you mentioned, Dad, gruff voice, it kind of lends a different, even though they're the same words, kind of a different meaning to them. He kind of knows later on, when your heart beats pounding like a rabbit's in the night, I'll hold you and tell you everything's all right. Cry to me. Cry to me, going out with the outro, man. So I need to, after this, listen to Solomon Burke's original just to see how different it is, man. And that's going to bring us to our closing track, Rottweiler, which, just based on the title, I'm expecting an intense rocker to end us out here.
Yeah, and I think you're right, because Joe says this is the oldest song on the album, the perfect closer for an album of self-realization. It's a war cry where I wash my hands of the torrid, hateful tabloid press and put my reading glasses on. So he's probably not going to be gentle. That's what I'm thinking. But hey, I could be wrong.
Well, we'll end this record out and then get to our favorite tracks and overall score after this. Rottweiler, bringing us home here, man. Ending this record off with a fury and a more kind of the longest section we've had instrumentally.
Yeah, I was going to say that they really let everything run there. I was going to say that same thing. I liked it fine. I mean, it was what it was supposed to be. As he said, it was fitting for the closer. It's kind of what you want on a 12-track record. Not a lot on the lyrics, just kind of Yeah, obviously going after, people that are coming after them, man.
No, exactly, and I liked instrumentally how everything crescendoed up,
Yes.
very kind of post-hardcore punk like with the drumming especially. I thought that was a highlight by John Beavis there, and the guitar work just continued to ramp up, swirl and crescendo, and then you go into the keep going, keep effing going, and just at the end shouting unity, which I think is kind of a one of the positive lights and themes on this record.
Yeah, and for it to be the last word is
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
exactly, man. And but I think this would be a fitting closer at a concert too. I don't know what their set lists were looking
Yeah.
like at this time, but I could imagine it in my mind, the mosh pit going in, man, and a fun time going in there as a guy who's been to a lot of punk rock concerts in his life, man. I'm missing those. I need to see Idols. But anyways, that'll take us to our favorite tracks and overall score. I guess you already got them down, Dad, so I'll let you do your favorite tracks first.
Yeah, mine are all from the first half of the record. I like the second half, but I thought the first half was unbelievable. My faves are, of course, Never Fight a Man with a Perm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm Scum.
Yeah.
And of course, June, just the fact that Joe pushed into, such an intensely personal. Honorable mention to Danny Nedelko
Yeah.
and the first tune, Colossus.
Yeah, my favorites are gonna be Colossus. I just kind of like how those split into two parts, and anytime Stone Cold and Ted DiBiase get a shout out, man,
Exactly.
you gotta rock with it. I'm gonna go June as well, just for how how personal it was. And then I think I'll go Danny Nedelko. So I'm also
I almost went with that one too.
Yeah.
It's not that the second half of the record isn't good. It's just the first half of the record
is just at
freaking
another
unreal.
level. And I guess now that'll take us to our overall score.
Yeah, I think for me, this is a great surprise, right? Not only had I never heard any tunes from Idols, I'd never heard of
Yeah.
Idols, right? And so you go in, and you I do the research, and I'm like, okay, I mean, this might be fine. And
Yeah.
boy, I'm just glued to the lyrics. I think one of the biggest things you can say here is the lyricism is really,
Oh,
really good. Because a
definitely.
lot of times in this genre, it's about the sound. The lyrics are fine, and they're usually good, but this is, some of these lyrics in here are borderline great.
Yeah.
So on first listen for me, 12 tracks doesn't seem too long because the tracks are short.
That helps it, yeah.
I'm going to be 7.75 to an 8 on this one.
No, man, I think you summed it up well, Dad. I like that there's so many, topics that need to be addressed kind of in this, at the time, 2018,
Yeah.
culture. I enjoyed the fact that they just tackled, everything from, toxic masculinity to, the immigration stuff to just dealing with your emotions, feelings, depression, all that stuff, man. I really appreciated Joe and the lads from Idols bringing that forth instrumentally. I thought it was, that right amount of, punky, great guitar, a lot of feedback, fantastic drumming performances, man. And all through this though, there's still that positive light that we need to
there
come
is.
together, which I think's important to note, man. So as a big fan of punk music, this was a great discovery, man. Shout out to Craig. I'm gonna be at an 8 for this
Definitely, man.
first listen on me. I definitely would go check these guys out in concert if that can ever happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully.
But let us know, y'all, what you think of this record and Idols in general down below, man. Again, want to shout out Craig for
Thank you, Craig.
bringing this to us. Fun one to film, that's for sure. As always, I appreciate the research and the backstory on these tunes especially. And until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Happy listening. And until next time, we will see you.